I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
If there's no more comments on that, I guess we will move on to what I consider the most controversial segment on our show sometimes. We're going to get into pro wrestling this week. Yeah, so we're going to run down these shows. We're going to try to go a little quicker this week. I know we kind of spent a lot of time on it last week, but we're trying to go a little quicker. Monday Night Raw opened up this week. Drew McIntyre was attacked again by T-Bar and Mace, and MVP basically started up the show denying responsibility for that attack, even though they attacked him again at the beginning of the show, and they just walked past MVP to start the show. I don't know where they're going with T-Bar and Mace. I kind of glad they're not joining the Hurt Business. I'll say that much.
They might as well.
Give it a couple weeks, they will be.
Give it
Yeah,
time.
you think so? Well,
Oh, yeah.
and obviously after this, we had a interview segment with T-Bar and Mace, and basically, I don't know why, but they were talking about extinct prehistoric creatures when talking about beating up Drew. I guess they were making comparisons.
They're going to make Drew go extinct.
Yeah. That's how they
Oh, I
got
thought they were bringing in Luchasaurus.
Then we got basically the exact same match from last week. Viking Raiders defeat Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. It was a good match for what it was, but again, within the first 20 minutes on both shows this week and last week was the exact same match for the most part. Just kind of highlighting,
Same finish.
Yeah, it was kind of lame, but at least it was a finish, so I'll give it that. But yeah, Shelton and Cedric are kind of not going anywhere at this point. We had a
release paper soon.
Yeah, most likely, unfortunately, because both guys are very talented, I think, in my opinion. We had a Randy Orton promo. He says no one will see the Fiend again as long as he's around. Sure.
Eric, you keep cutting out on me.
I didn't hear what you said.
you're cutting out too.
Okay, all right, any better?
Say it again.
Yeah, are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll try this again. Randy Orton had a promo. He said no one will see the Fiend again as long as he's around. Sure, right. Okay, Randy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it.
We'll see him probably next week. He wasn't on this show.
I believe that statement. Like, I believe in the safety of Mexican drinking.
Wow.
So yeah, this led. Let's see here. Riddle backstage during this promo rolled up on his scooter and circled Randy Orton multiple times, and he rambles on until Randy Orton just walked off. I mean, don't blame him there at all.
No.
On this gimmick. Then we had Randy Orton apparently was annoyed by this. He met up with Adam Pearce, wants a match with Riddle later in the night, even though all weekend long, WWE advertised the first ever meeting between Braun Strowman and Randy Orton, only for Vince to rip up the script a few hours before the show and book Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle.
Literally was late to the meeting. I fuck my brain. The fucking meeting before the show. He was late to that, and then
The production meeting?
Yes, he was late to the production meeting, and when he got there, he just is like, nope, fuck this.
Who
Write me something new.
Oh, Randy?
I just did the show in general.
No, Vince. I think
He just came in and just
Vince.
like, fuck it, rewrite the show.
Well,
He's been doing it for at least a year at this
and
point.
that's partially why Raw, and he does it mostly for Raw. And I think that's a lot of reason why Raw has its issues. Because I know we talked last week about, the creative writers or, dramas or sitcom writers. But if Vince is ripping up scripts like this, what can the writers do? They may have something good, and Vince just looks at it and says it's garbage. That's Vince's call. I mean, so that's not necessarily always on the writing crew. Now, they're not great either a lot of times, but I just feel like it's fair to put blame at times where it is due. So, regardless of the show. So, but yeah, and say what you want about AEW. You can disagree with them or not, but every single Wednesday, they always run down the show next week, exactly the matches they're going to do, exactly the segments they're going to do, and they always deliver, whether you like them or not. At least they advertise, unlike Raw, who a lot of times don't even have a match named until the day of the show. So,
but that's like going to the same hooker because she has the same STD every week that you like. It's like, hey, why would you want, why would you go do that when you can go to the mystery one who has, you never know.
Yeah. I mean,
Could be herpes. Could be, who knows?
And I know a lot of fanboys, a lot of times in defense of WWE, will sometimes say, card's subject to change, but that's supposed to be reserved for injuries and reasons that they can't be on the show, not just because, the writing teams is booking lazy and they just decide to change their mind. That's not the way that should be used, but that's just me being a little bit of old school, I guess. They kind of use that nowadays.
Old school, they did the same thing. You show up at a show and you're supposed to wrestle this week, whoever, and come to find that you're wrestling somebody else just because.
Yeah, and I don't agree with it then either, if that's the case. But I just remember it being a lot more just because, okay, the guy can't compete, so we got to change it because we must. Yeah, stuff like that.
And probably the thing for that, though, is we didn't have social media like we do.
True, that's true, too.
So that kind of stuff didn't just get out on the interweb.
Very true.
And they can, AEW can do that. They can promote matches and whatnot when they do the same fucking thing in every match. They jumpstart a match, they have someone run in at the end, or there's some type of gauntlet, or there's some type of tournament. I mean, if it's the same fucking dredged up shit every week, then they can go right ahead.
We'll put it this way. I know we're going to go into AEW a little bit here before too long. I cannot wait to see how you guys respond, because I think that show was booked really well. So I'm interested to see your thoughts on it. Charlotte comes out on the next segment, and basically she's wearing a weird wardrobe again. She's got this jacket on that has shoulder pads, looks a lot like something out of Elton John's closet. I mean, she invited Rhea down to ringside. Charlotte was being a total, I'll just say it, bitch to Asuka, and it's almost like they.
Why do you say her name like that?
No.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say that name again, Eric?
What'd I say, Asuka?
No.
Asuka.
I mean, Oscar, whatever. I'm sorry.
Why did you say her name like
it's
that?
late again, yeah. But I'm trying to read my handwriting here. Oscar.
You said Asuka.
Oh, Oscar. But anyway, she treated Oscar like a total you-know-what. And it's almost like the writing team forgot that they were just best friends a couple months ago and were holding the tag team championships. But other than that...
Who do you think we have the memory of a goldfish?
No, time out. No.
Don't tell me, no, they do.
The only person who thought they were best friends was Oscar. Charlotte made no assumption that they were that close.
No.
Well, they were always buddy in promos backstage.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
No, they weren't.
Dude, did you watch the shows?
Yes, but in Charlotte's, no.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's your opinion. I thought they portrayed that.
I hate to do this, trust me, because I hate to stand next to AEW people, but I have to agree with Eric on this. I don't. When the fuck did they ever act like they were best friends? Maybe in Oscar's mind, but I mean,
it's what I just said.
Yeah, that's what Brandon said.
Oh, that was you talking?
Yeah.
I mean,
shit.
Well, I mean, the fact they were tag team champs. I mean, to me, it's like implied at least.
No, it's not implied.
No, because they did the same shit with Shawn and Cena back in the day.
Yeah, but they made points to say, "Oh, we're not getting along." They never did that with Asuka and Charlotte. But
I think we can all safely agree that just wrestling in general, don't matter what three letters are in front of the promotion, is just not that great right now.
Of course, but there are good things.
Iron sharpens iron, and there's no competition for anybody.
But there are good things going on, and we should point those out when they happen as well, regardless of,
but then you say that, but then legitimately half of this is us bashing the shit out of WWE until we get to what? Either NXT or SmackDown. But the shit that you enjoy that's on AEW is the same shit that, again, we will bash the shit out of WWE for and then just roll past it.
But also there's times AEW does good things for, and if WWE did it, you'd be praising WWE for it. So I'm just saying, if there's good things on both shows, we should point out those. And if there's bad things, point out those too. But just because we don't like a particular company, we should still be fair. You know what I'm saying?
I hate it all, to be honest. WWE,
I was going to say, I hate dumb, illogical wrestling.
Right, but that's why I think
it's like I've come to this realization with wrestling that it's not like I've outgrown it and I'm too mature for it. That's not it. It's
too cynical for it.
The shit is just.
Well, that's why I'm going to try to make a little bit of a case for AEW this week, just because I thought this actually had the most logical storytelling and booking of the week. and of a lot of shows. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to convince you guys, but I just want to kind of point out some stuff that they did that, maybe kind of, bring it around. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to like be an AEW home or anything like that. I'm not trying to bash WWE. I just want to be fair on all shows, and I'm going to try and do that in both games. So, all right, cool. Anyway, this led to a match. Riddle ended up wrestling Randy Orton. Riddle beat Randy Orton clean in the middle of the ring. We got more birds this week, but
Fuck them birds.
But
Right.
Randy Orton obviously put Riddle over. Good match. Nothing, it was about 48 minutes into the show before we had our second match of the night. And the match kind of went, Matt Riddle kept catching Randy Orton in a choke early on. But the finish came with another roll up. Kind of used Orton's momentum against him. But other than that, I mean, good match and a new star, so to speak, whether you like him or hate him, based on his goofy character.
Just last week that Riddle got fucking absolutely destroyed by Lashley.
Yeah.
That's why this win would be so much more if that didn't happen.
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50 booking, which there's more of that on this show too. Which
It's always that, bro.
Not in every promotion.
The Drew McIntyre match. Oh my god.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on after that, Sheamus met with Adam Pearce. Adam suggested an open challenge for the U.S. title like John Cena used to do. But Sheamus agreed to the open challenge.
But saying not to.
Yeah, but non-title. So Sheamus was not going to defend his title, but he'll do the open challenge part of it. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Lana and Naomi. Match was pretty bad, actually. Mandy and Dana interrupt... I can't read my own handwriting. A video of last week. Mocking Nia Jax. Nia left Shayna to lose to Lana and Naomi because Nia Jax had her feelings hurt by this video of Mandy and Dana making fun of her from last week.
Why are they going back with the bullying thing for Nia?
Yeah. And again, Shayna Baszler eats the pin because her partner left her. Shayna Baszler is getting buried at this point.
There's no rhyme or reason to this. You can't tell who the heel, who the baby face is.
No.
To me, you would think that Mandy and Dana were the baby faces, but they're not because they're teasing, and then you got the heels who are supposed to be the heels, but they're getting their feelings hurt, and this is what the fuck is wrong with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't even know why the fuck we talk about it. I mean, we should just do this. WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor.
But again, there's good stuff too. I mean, I think so.
But there's very far and few between at this point.
I mean, we unfortunately didn't get to watch SmackDown because of Mortal Kombat tonight. But I imagine SmackDown was a good show. I thought NXT and AEW were good shows this week. Granted, that's my opinion, but I'd hate to ditch the entire segment.
Because I get it, and I'm not saying we're going to stop talking about wrestling.
But at the same time, it's like this. If we put out all the good bits, go through that part of the show, it cuts out all this other shit. Like, because more or less we sit here and we harp on all the negative parts of wrestling. And we're always at that.
But I'm trying to point out the good stuff too, so I'm not going to let that go.
I think you gotta have the good and the bad. So, I mean, you gotta wade through the bad to get to the good.
I mean, we could try to go through it.
Both. I get it.
There's a lot of bad though.
There is, but that's why I'm trying not to go, harp on it and linger on it too long. I'm trying to move a little forward. That way we can get through the good too. Because I think we all still do like professional wrestling. It's just that
that's
it
why
is hard.
It is what it is. We just want it to be better, but it's like it's so fucking. It's like a walking through a fucking swamp half the time. Because it's like I'm over it.
I understand.
It's either really dumb. It's either for me. It's really dumb, illogical, or it's just a retread of a story they've done before with like this Nia Jax thing. I think it was 34. Her and Alexa were going at it.
Yeah.
That was a bully. That was a whole bully Nia storyline, and it looks like they're gonna do it again. For some reason, they want Nia to be a face of it.
Dude, I hate to say it, but like, I don't even see myself watching wrestling again until maybe SummerSlam. I mean, just for the fact, I'll probably check out Blood and Guts because it's war games and I love war games. But I don't, man. At
this point, it's only pay-per-views for me. Until the weekly shows get better, I'm not gonna put myself through that.
I try to read the results on.
I try to make sure I know what I'm coming into.
Right, but that's it. I don't watch it live. I got it on the DVR. I delete it. You know what I am watching? A&E's biography right now. Stone Cold biography was amazing.
I heard it was great. Yeah.
Next week is Roddy Piper, and also May 6th, Dark Side of the Ring returns. I will be watching that. That is amazing.
The only thing that I mean, I didn't watch it, so take it for what it is. But I did hear the one thing that the A&E, especially on Stone Cold, did was Vince was talking about how, the Attitude Era was like the golden age of wrestling, and a lot of guys were in this show, and to me, it's kind of like, okay, if that was the golden age of wrestling, shouldn't you be trying to do things more like you did back then? For an example, letting your wrestlers cut promos unscripted. Because honestly, today with the scripted stuff, never would Stone Cold have gotten over as good as he did if he was not allowed to cut the infamous Austin 316 promo that he did off the top of his head. So it's things like that you take away from wrestlers nowadays, and you wonder why they can't get over, and wrestling sucks.
But they can't do that anymore. They can't because they are publicly traded. Yes, they were still publicly traded then, but it was in an infancy stage. Now they have so many eyes and so many sponsors and so many things on them. They have to be this horrible cookie cutter, whatnot to get all that money, and that's all Vince cares about. And I hate to say it because Vince is the greatest. Vince is the greatest booker, the greatest promoter of all time, in my opinion. You won't change my mind on that. Not saying he's doing that right now.
Yeah, of all time, though, I'd agree.
Still is.
Yeah. He's the reason we have wrestling today.
They have to because of the stockholders, because of the channels that they're on, because of all the fucking money that they get. They have to take these cues from them. So, I mean, it is what it is. Right. WWE will never go back to being the way that it was.
Oh no,
unless they sell it. Maybe one day Vince sells it.
What if? I mean, again, we're going to get into AEW a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to try to go through this a little quicker. But what if AEW somehow does get to Raw level ratings?
Then they'll end up in the same position.
Yep. What do you mean exactly?
The same way we bitch about Raw being now with all these shareholders, sponsors, this, that, and the third, AEW end up in the same one.
You think they'll become lazy?
Yeah, they're not by choice. Even
though they have direct competition at the same level as them.
I don't think they will. I think they're always going to be this carefree, over indie, whatever. I don't think they ever will. They're just going to do what they want, and it's not going to make any sense. And it's just gonna fucking be, Miro and fucking arcade wrestling matches and rings that don't explode when they're supposed to.
Well, but how much of that the ring exploding part can you put on AEW and their booking of it? Because, from what I understand, that was a pyro malfunction. And if that's the case,
okay, then here's the thing. If Tony Khan he got Booker of the Year and fucking all this. Are you fucking retarded? The minute that shit didn't go off, I would have had fucking Omega in front of a camera and Omega going, "Ha ha, you dumbasses!" I
thought about that right after it happened.
That's a good point.
Because he was the one that was supposedly designing this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Do you think I'm going to fucking make a ring that could explode with me possibly being in it?"
That would be a good one.
Possibly, I would have covered my ass so hard with that.
I mean, obviously that would take a Johnny on the spot decision. Get out there now. But
okay, well, I'm a Johnny on the spot.
Still had
and I just thought of it right here on the fucking fly.
But you still had Eddie Kingston lay over top of.
Well, again, Eddie Kingston can't see what's going. Now he could hear it, but
he should have got up and walked the fuck out. But he sit there and he sold like he was. Man, I give Kingston all the credit in the world. He looked like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I just try to give him a little defense there, just because he can't see what's going on around him. And for all we know, the pyro that did go off was loud enough. Maybe not what they were expecting. But, so, I mean, I get it. So, I mean, yeah, you make a good point about Tony Khan, though. He could have definitely called an audible there for sure, I think. But I guess, anyway, moving on a little bit here. It's interesting to note, too, Baszler being pinned in this match. Obviously, another champion being pinned to probably set up yet another title match because they don't know how to book title matches otherwise. Miz TV with Maurice. I was about to puke at the beginning of this segment because they were doing all this mushy celebrating with Miz and Mrs. premiere on USA. Damian Priest mercifully interrupted. He called Miz a Jake Paul wannabe, fake fighter, and said that Miz has no cojones. Maurice made the match for Miz versus Priest later. Even I don't know how she got.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Why? How? What gives Maurice the power to make matches?
Well, I think she suggested it. I think the commentary did go on to say we'll have to see if that gets approved by management, and apparently it did. But I think that's how they wrote it. They also threw champagne in Damian Priest's face. No John Morrison on this show tonight, though, so that was an interesting note as well. Next we had Riddle with the New Day backstage. They screamed about silver dollar pancakes for no reason, and we got a Kofi versus Elias match where Elias actually won. During this match, Xavier played the bass guitar on the outside of the ring, including using the bass guitar to play Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme music. But again, that part was funny. But again, this was 50-50 booking because last week Elias beat, the New Day beat Elias and Riker. So this week Elias gets the win. So there's that. But yeah, the bass thing was pretty funny. But he did beat him clean in the middle of the ring with an elbow off the top rope.
Yep.
I hate 50-50 booking.
The next we had Alexis Playground commentary. She said that she's left the Fiend behind, so she's definitely on her own now, and it looks like she's taken the Fiend gimmick. I don't know if that means Bray and her are both going to do it, but she talks about Lily, her doll, and they imposed pictures of Lily into pictures of young Alexa Bliss, implying that she grew up with the doll. And she's been an influence on her life for a long time. She said Lily doesn't like any women on the Raw roster, and she now has fully taken the Fiend gimmick. And like I said, is going to be running roughshod probably through the women's division with this crazy stuff.
Until she made Charlotte.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if they do what they do with the Fiend,
No, Goldberg. Yeah, I mean, that's the only
so yeah.
I mean, that's Charlotte.
I hope this does not destroy the women's division on Raw completely.
How can you destroy something that's not there?
I was about to say, like, you can't destroy something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole women's revolution lasted a whole fucking long time.
Yeah, I agree with that. At least WWE is teeing a Nia Shayna breakup after Shayna told Nia to get her head in the game backstage. Angel Garza then walked up to Nia and asked her what she sees in Reginald. That's kind of a nothing segment there.
Fucking dumb.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre versus T-Bar and Mason, a handicap match, ended in a no contest after the match ended up in a 2-on-1 assault that led to Braun making the save and becoming yet a tag team match. So why Braun come out and helped Drew McIntyre, no clue. But
the only thing that could have made that segment better or that situation better if Teddy Long would have been instead of talking about tag team.
And they were going against The Undertaker. Yeah. But Drew and Braun then went on to face T-Bar and Mace. T-Bar and Mace won by DQ. The match was thrown out for Drew kicking too much ass using Mace's mask in the corner after he ripped it off his head.
Here's the thing. That's a flimsy ass mask. How the fuck are we going to get a DQ off his mask?
But then after the match, I believe T-Bar was also unmasked. So hopefully this means Dio Madden and Dominik Dijakovic are back, and that T-Bar and Mace stuff is over. So yeah, hopefully that's a thing. Then we got Miz versus Damian Priest. Maurice tried to get involved multiple times, but backfires, and Damian Priest gets his comeback from last week, or his win back from last week, I should say. Again, 50-50 booking because he lost to Miz and Morrison.
Yeah, 50-50.
Nobody can get over with this type of stuff. Sheamus promo says he's going to be fighting champion Humberto Carrillo. Sheamus is going to be a fighting champion. Humberto Carrillo comes out to answer the open challenge and then promptly gets destroyed by the U.S. champion. This was not a match, so it wasn't even an open challenge. So, again, I guess just pushing Sheamus as a killer.
Humberto Carrillo is still with the company.
Yeah, I don't know. He's really.
I saw that it was him and Sheamus, like he was still with them. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fucking Humberto can Humberto his ass on out of here.
Yeah.
Yup.
Then we got Charlotte versus Asuka. This was actually an okay match, I thought, all things considered, until the finish a little bit. Another bit of an interference thing going on with a roll up after Rhea pulled Charlotte's arms out from underneath her where she had Asuka in the figure 8. But yet Charlotte's the one who invited Rhea Ripley to ringside to watch her match. And afterwards, Charlotte got so mad she destroyed some of the official. And I guess after the show, she got suspended and fined, which probably be on the show next week. But
Are they gonna do the whole Becky Lynch thing with Charlotte, where you try to make Charlotte out to be this badass who breaks all?
They're gonna try.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A part of me thought something was a little fishy here. I mean, because think about all the things that's happened in the last few weeks. Charlotte got suspended indefinitely. She was not on WrestleMania. Now, granted, they thought she was pregnant, but it turns out she wasn't.
She's getting surgery right now.
Well, yeah. No, and I'm just going to say, Andrade just left. I wonder if there's some animosity there by the company. Plus, it seems like since Charlotte came back after Mania, is it just me or does she just look different? I mean,
what? She got her boobs fixed.
Well, it's like something.
No, it's the face.
The face.
Oh, yeah, the face. Too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. She looks gorgeous. It's just I don't understand.
No.
It seems like she. Well, I don't know.
She's had a lot of botched surgeries. I know when they had that big photo leak a few years ago or whatever, one of the things was she was so upset because not only did she have her privacy invaded, but also she had that botched boob job. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things. So she's probably very self-conscious. So she's probably gone through multiple fucking surgeries.
Even though she's got mad at people on Twitter for saying she's self-conscious. But
yeah, she just fucking blew up Dave Meltzer, called him out.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Douchebag.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he said, but yeah, so that's
it was about her body and shit and stuff. And
now, granted, I don't think we should, judge someone based on their appearance or anything like that. But I just noticed it. It just looked different, and it just kind of stood out.
I noticed that when she came back the Monday after Mania.
I mean, she looked like she. Now, granted, she did.
Hold on, that's Charlotte.
Now, granted, she did just supposedly had COVID. They reported that was part of the reason why she wasn't on Mania 2. And if that's the case, that could affect her physically. So, that could be part of it. I don't know. But also interesting to know, which I'm going to give WWE praise on this one. No AJ Styles and Omos again, even though it is.
Yeah, that's weird. They're your tag team champions,
right?
In two shows in a row now.
And we've not seen them since Mania.
That's how little care Vince gives the tag team.
Right, but there's also no Bobby Lashley on this show. So, in a way, I will give them some semblance of praise because one of the things, as big as AEW's roster is, one of the things I think they do kind of well. They don't show the exact. Now, some certain ones they do, but a lot of times you'll get different wrestlers on each week, so they don't get stale. A lot of times we see Charlotte every week, Drew McIntyre every week. They've got to, so holding them off a few shows here and there doesn't bother me because it helps me refresh my batteries a little bit. But that's just me.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
And it's also interesting to note no Edge or Daniel Bryan on SmackDown last week. I don't know about this week. But all right, so let's move on real quick to NXT. Kyle O'Reilly came out, cut this promo about how he found the killer instinct when he fought or Gargano. He's past Adam Cole. But he said he's past Adam Cole. He implies he's coming after Karrion Kross and that title when Cameron Grimes interrupts and it became main roster comedy a little bit.
He sucker punched the shit out.
Right. But then, Kyle O'Reilly kind of got this cool Kyle gimmick, they called it. It came a little
Orange Cassidy.
Yes, that's what it came off to be a little bit. Now it got better by the end of the segment, and he kind of came off as just cool babyface when he sucker punched Grimes, as Brandon mentioned.
He's stuck his motherfucking ass.
Yeah, it was a good little spot, but the beginning of it was a little rocky at first. So I don't know where they're going to go with Kyle. I've heard he can be a great babyface, so maybe he can make this work. But we'll see what they do. I guess he tried to strike a deal with or Grimes tried to strike a deal with O'Reilly, and it didn't go his way. No Adam Cole on the show again. Also after that match, I'm glad he wasn't. So another thumbs up there. Yeah. Sarai arrives outside, and Regal sets up a match. Oh, go ahead. Sarai arrives, and Regal sets up a match versus Zoe Starks tonight. Then LA Knight versus Dexter Lumis. LA Knight wins this match. Lumis was in control for most of it, but there was a distraction finish when Indy Hartwell was on the outside of the ring, on the outside of the barricade, and she was infatuated with Lumis, caught Lumis's eye. He came over there, and she was so infatuated, she literally tripped. But then she got up, no sold it. Dexter didn't sell it. So I don't know if that was part of it or if she literally tripped. But then I guess, he got distracted enough to where LA Knight took advantage. Indy then tried to kiss Lumis after the match before the Way come out to save her and take her to the back, so they did not kiss. The only weird part about this with me is Indy Hartwell tried to go for this kiss, but he just took her out in his arms last week, and if they're trying to sell that they've never kissed, what were they doing when he took her away last week? Like, what happened backstage then? Did nothing happen? Did he just drop her and,
He probably just stared at her, looked longingly in her eyes.
Yeah. But anyway, other than that, I didn't hate this. I thought it was actually okay.
It sounds dumb.
It sounds dumb. I thought the execution of like her tripping on the outside was funny, and she tried to puck her up and give him a kiss. I thought that was kind of entertaining anyway.
It's gonna be like the whole best friends hug thing.
where you
Jesus Christ, I
they
hope
wait
not.
for it to happen and then eventually. It happens.
Hopefully in front of fans, unlike Otis and Mandy last year. But yeah, LA Knight's a good talker, though. I'll give him credit for that. Leon Ruff cut a promo on Isaiah Swerve Scott, says it ain't over, and it's Scott's move. But that's about all it was. Io Shirai was interviewed with Beth Phoenix. She said Raquel Gonzalez was toughest challenge and it was her toughest challenge, and she will get a rematch. Frankie Monet and her dog then entered and then gushed over Beth Phoenix. Io then took offense to this, and Frankie Monet was popping out of her dress big time in this. She then says she likes cats, or Io says she likes cats, and walked away. I guess because Monet had dog, but it's a kind of a dumb thing. Breezango come out next, and with a tribute to UK's Queen's Guards with their getup, they were wearing the whole full red jacket, big black top hats, or whatever.
Beef eaters.
Yeah. And I guess the Grizzled Young Veterans come out. They took offense to this being English, I suppose, and they have a match. Grizzled Young Vets then beat Breezango. This is actually a solid match, and Grizzled Young Veterans won with the ticket to Mayhem for the win. Good TV match. Nothing wrong with that. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, they're not bad. Bronson Reed then interrupts the way backstage. Reed wants the North American title, even though he just lost his opportunity, or he lost his last opportunity. And then Gargano said he needs to go to the back of the line. That's when Austin's Theory stepped up and said no one rips into Gargano's head like Reed said he wanted to, and then he then proceeded to call Johnny Gargano Papa John.
What?
Yeah, he called him. No one's going to go after Papa John like that. I guess because they're doing this family thing with the
I
way.
fucking hate Gargano. I fucking hate this.
Well, it wasn't
show.
him. That was Theory who said it. But yeah,
I know, but it's still fucking Gargano, and I can't stand him. And Christ, I wish they'd fucking just all died off the back and crash.
Anyway,
Jesus.
apparently Theory said Reed's got to beat him to get to Papa John and a shot at the North American title, and Gargano was not thrilled with that either. Cameron Grimes then was not happy about losing his NFTs. Are those non-fundable tokens? Is that what those are? It was some sort of thing that was up for auction. He supposedly won it, but then the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, apparently outbid him for it. So apparently we're going to get Ted DiBiase in NXT.
Yo, I'm here for it.
Yeah, so he wasn't really upset that O'Reilly punched him earlier, though, in this promo. That's for sure. But
he punched the shit out of him.
Then we had one of the best matches of the week. Sarai defeated Zoe Starks. Sarai looked really good in this. Zoe Starks looked really good in this. Very physical. They had a show of respect afterwards. She won with a spinning heel kick, a forearm to the face, and an underarm suplex for the win. And then, of course, after the matches, Toni Storm ambushed Zoe Stark. And because Zoe Starks beat Toni Storm at TakeOver, so they're furthering that feud as well. Then we had a Rachel Gonzalez interview with Dakota Kai. She says she'll take everyone out in the women's division in her title reign. Candice was then talking to Indy Hartwell backstage. Indy gets distracted looking for Dexter Lumis. So Candice keeps walking, and she runs into Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, who then proceed to beat the crap out of Candice LeRae and drag her into the locker room, and Indy Hartwell is nowhere to be found. She's too distracted because of her infatuation. Kushida then had a cruiserweight open challenge, again with an open challenge 2 nights in a row. I'm not saying they're copying each other.
At least he actually did it.
Agreed. So I'll give you that. Another good match, though, with Oni Lorcan is the one who came out for this match. Oni Lorcan delivered some devastating chops here, and he won by, Kushida won by armbar submission. And after the match, Legado del Fantasma and Santos Escobar attack Kushida. MSK run out to help, which is going to be setting up a 6-man next week on NXT, which could be good. I mean, yeah, but we'll see. The way backstage with Indy rejoins the group, and Candice, who was beat up, also rejoined the group. Indy says Regal has granted them a tag team match. Interesting to note, though, she didn't specify whether it was Gargano and Theory who was getting the tag team match or Indy and Candice. So that was a little confusing, but it's probably the women. Next week, they also announced, which, again, we'll get into how AEW does a good job with this. NXT announced 3 matches for next week already. So, plus, they're advertising a week in advance. Hopefully, that'll get some ratings up for them. Ever Rise versus Imperium. This I loved because Killian Dane and Drake Maverick tried to get involved in this match, your typical interference thing. But smart heels, Imperium was not fooled by this. They still won the match despite the interference. So instead of normally when the interference costs somebody a match, Imperium was too smart for that. That's good booking. I was okay with that.
I like the way they book Imperium because,
Yeah.
like you said, smart heels, which is not something you see too often.
Not anymore.
No.
Especially baby faces. They're really bad about that.
They make baby faces fucking retarded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know. I don't get that whole. I hate the entrance distraction. I fucking hate it. It's dumb as fuck.
Yeah. At least that wasn't this. They
Especially
actually
for-
came down to the ring for this, so there's that. But,
Especially for a baby face to fall for it. Like, why though?
yeah.
You know, like you should focus on what's in the ring first, and then address the situation at the ramp. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly then passed Karrion Kross on his way to the ring, and they had a stare down. Clearly, we're going to get Riley and Karrion Kross, which could be good, no doubt about that.
That'd be dope.
O'Reilly versus Cameron Grimes, good match. It ended with a knee to the back, kind of like how O'Reilly beat Cole at Takeover. Riley stands tall to end the show, so not a bad show.
He's got to if you're gonna push him to be your next one.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't want him taking a loss, unlike some contenders.
You gotta build him up for Carrion to destroy him, but you're going to have to build him up. So.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to get into AEW now, real quick.
Yeah. Now you are the leading source on this one alone.
Agree, but I want to try to explain this to where the way I saw it, and you can tell me if you agree with it or not, and that's fine. We start the show off with Ricky Starks versus Adam Hangman Page. Adam Hangman Page was noted as being undefeated in 2021. So that's, to me, a good way to build a proper contender for the World Championship. So it was a good, solid opener. Hangman Page won by a submission because Ricky Starks took this bump. He was Page was trying to deliver a German suplex, and Starks tried to do the flip to where he landed on his feet, but he didn't get all the way over. Starks landed directly on his neck here. Brutal spot. And then he ended up tweaking his ankle from the looks of it a couple spots later.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, the match other than that was pretty good, all things considered. So it's good
What do you
opener.
mean all good things considered? If somebody gets hurt
Well,
trying to do,
they said
like,
after the
that's
show
not good.
he's fine, but I guess we'll see if there's any long term. He did limp out later in the show in another segment, but I mean, it could have just been typical wrestling injury. I don't know. I wasn't thinking anything much about it, but yeah, getting landed on your neck, no bueno. Taz then told Hangman after the match to watch his back when his son Hook took his knee out from behind. Brian Cage and Team Taz tried to lay him out, but then the Dark Order rushed out to make the save. This week, they waited until after the match, at least, to clear the locker room. So I'll give them plus for that. I gave them some criticism last week for that. So at least we got the finish before that happened. The Elite arrive in a private, and they go into a private trailer outside. This is kind of like an old NWO spot where they're really cool. And, anyway, so they go out and wait out there.
So they're becoming WCW.
Maybe a little bit, but we'll see if the other part of this angle later in the night you kind of feel the same way about it or not. Penta versus Trent. Penta won the match via package pile driver. Very solid match. Penta's interpreter Alex Abrahantes was trying to insult Trent's mama during this match. That part was kind of stupid. He runs to the ring. Runs into the ring to avoid Trent, and Orange Cassidy tried to get to him, but Penta then kicked Orange Cassidy from behind, then hit Trent with the package pile driver for the win. So a little bit of a distraction thing here too. So in that regard, not their best segment, but otherwise a solid match, I thought. Pinnacle interview then with JR. What's that?
What the hell was that?
Anyway, okay.
Yeah,
Okay there, Tony?
keep going. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Okay. All right. I was making sure. All right. The Pinnacle interview with JR. This was a outstanding promo by MJF here. He got very passionate, very believable, very intense. He told Jericho, when he was 25, the same age as him, he was pulling, curtain jerking for the beginning of the show while he's main eventing, and he said he's definitely a mark, but he's not a mark in the traditional sense. He's a mark for Jericho's spot, and he said he's going to take it at Blood and Guts. So I thought this was very well delivered. Even Wardlow had a good spot here where he
Here's
insulted
the thing.
Jericho.
MJF is like a rare case. Like he's a good
Right.
heel. I mean, he's a damn good heel.
Especially at his age.
He's great on the microphone and shit. It's just that's only gonna go so far too.
Mm-hmm. He's got to get in the ring a little more, in my opinion. He's not in the ring often. Which, again, you don't have to be every week. I get that. But we need to see him more.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're going to build him. Now, granted, it's not for a title per se. It's just a faction. And I know we mentioned last week about how we weren't happy with the Dirty Dogs. I got to thinking about this a little bit later, how the Dirty Dogs won clean over, I can't remember who they defended the titles on SmackDown. The difference between that to me and the faction feud between Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, the Dirty Dogs won a match clean. We've not had a match between these two factions. We had a couple singles matches, but we've not seen a definitive winner between the two sides. So in that case, I feel like, we've still not seen the end of it. Or,
this is a situation too. Okay. You really can't get a definitive winner because you can't have the Inner Circle definitively beat the Pinnacle, because then that whole faction is dead on arrival.
Don't get me wrong. I'm 100% certain that the Pinnacle is winning Blood and Guts, and the Inner Circle have to put them over. Otherwise, like you said, they kill their momentum. So I mean, but again,
Nexus all over again.
But that makes that whole thing predictable. Then.
Well, again, but predictability in professional wrestling is not always a bad thing. That means it's good, solid booking, because you got to book that properly, like you said. Otherwise, they kill the faction.
Yeah, but then you rest on killing off the Inner Circle then?
No, because the Inner Circle could take the loss and not be affected too much, because they've won matches. They've been in big feuds here lately, and the Pinnacle, this is their first big feud, and I think it's more important to them right now. But again, if they have a great match, that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. Everybody's here to see how the match goes, even though we may know the winner. Some smart fans do. But
I just hope it doesn't go the way of the Nexus.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with it. Absolutely. But so yeah, but there's that.
Again, too many factions.
Well, yeah, and there is an argument to be made for that. Absolutely, and we'll see how they navigate it. Tonight, I thought they did a good job. But then we had another. Probably outside of the Sarai match on NXT, the best women's match of the week, probably. Tai Conti challenging Hikaru Shida for the AEW women's title. There was a quarter spot where Shida had tie up on her shoulders, and she jumped off and flipped Conti on her back onto the turnbuckle. That looked like it sucked. They did the same thing with a backbreaker later in the match during the finish, where Hikaru Shida won with a spinning knee to the face. Yeah, very solid, very good. This is the type of match I want to see out at AEW, because Ty Conti has been drastically improving over the last few months, and they finally rewarded her with a title shot. And even though she didn't win, great showing, and they gave her the spot. After the match, Britt Baker come out, and she now showed a graphic about how she is now the number one contender, because Ty Conti lost, she moved up. So again, it makes logical sense based on the record that Britt Baker is now the challenger. So again, logical storytelling, in my opinion. So then we had a Miro promo. He put all the champions on notice. Didn't say who he was going after, but he's coming after the title holders. So there's that. The Inner Circle then had the in-ring interview. Jake Hager tried to cut a promo here. That was awful. Santana kind of mini promo here too, but Jericho was the one who had most of the mic most of the time. He started singing. It wasn't, he was trying to make fun of the Pinnacle. It wasn't going as well as MJF's promo for sure. MJF outschooled him here, but Jericho had the better promo last week. They are going to have what they are calling a parlay next week, where they were going to discuss the battle terms of the Blood and Guts match going forward, where the two teams will decide. So that's interesting.
Did you say
parlay?
They're having
a parlay.
So basically, it's a fancy word for like
a truce,
contract signing,
kind of. But then maybe discussing the stipulations or how they're going to play this match or the rules. I don't know. They'll probably inform the audience what they're going to do for it.
It'll end up in a brawl.
It's very possible.
It will.
Yeah.
No, not possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're
going
right.
to happen.
It's going to happen. You're right. But so yeah, there's that. See here. Come to find out, when we were talking about the Factory and QT Marshall and Anthony Ogogo last week, you all were asking who greenlit that name. Apparently, that's his real name. I looked it up. So
Go dude.
Yeah, that's his real name. Apparently he's
but apparently his parents greenlit that.
But apparently he is an actual Olympic medalist in boxing, so that explains the punching gimmick. It's still not a good gimmick. I'm not gonna lie. The punching part is stupid.
Dude.
But I guess they're trying to
tell me this man's government name
is Anthony Ogogo. He's also got a tag team partner, apparently, Nick Camarado. That's his real name too.
I'm done.
But anyhow, Billy Gunn versus QT Marshall. Billy was looking very old and slow here. This wasn't very good. QT Marshall was trying to sell for him, though. The Gun Club and the Factory then get into it at ringside after the Factory attacked Billy. Ogogo came out to attack Billy Gunn, and then he hit that Falcon Punch that we talked about last week and took away QT took advantage with a diamond cutter for the win. Yeah, not great.
You mean to tell me he sounds like a 70s porn star, and his tag team partner is just as bad, but he still uses a gut punch as a finisher?
Well, at least in this case, it wasn't in a match. But yeah, I see. You got an excellent point. Yeah, it's a dumb. But I get it because the boxing
words that came out of my mouth.
I did. Yeah, as a finisher, as a boxer, I get it. But yeah, it's not real good. You know, maybe
I just wanted to be known. Just what was discussed just gave me a headache.
It is getting late here.
Christ.
But
No,
anyway.
dude, it's not even about that.
No, the lateness is this headache just came on after hearing what the fuck was just discussed.
My God. Anyway, go forward.
Okay.
Yes,
the Elite was then in their trailer taking credit for all the. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead here. Let's see
No,
here.
you're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, Dustin Rhodes come out and smashed a wooden chair over Camarado's head, who he did not sell, so they're building him up as kind of a bit of a monster. But anyway, all right, the Elite then was in. Huh?
He no-sold a chair shot, is what you're telling me?
Well, a wooden chair, but and also Dusty Rhodes come out with the old Texas bull rope, kind of like his dad Dusty. So I don't know if they're setting up a Texas bull rope match between Camarado and Rhodes or not, but that kind of was the implication I got from it. But but anyway, I don't. Anyway,
Moving on.
The Elite was in their trailer backstage. They were taking credit for all the success of AEW and all this stuff, and they mentioned the Swan Omega match. That's when Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston pulled up in a big black truck, and then they rammed the outside of the trailer, pushing it aside, and then they stormed the trailer to attack them. And I guess by that point they had bailed, and even Jon Moxley had asked, "Where's them shoes at?" Talking about the Bucks' horrible shoes that they were wearing last week, and all that stuff, and making fun of their attire. But
do you hear how you sounded when you said that?
No.
Like how the steam left your voice when you said he commented where them shoes at?
I thought it was a funny comment, but yeah. But anyway, but here's the thing: Stone Cold Steve Austin would do stuff with his truck all the time. That was considered cool. Why is this not?
I didn't say the truck thing wasn't cool.
Okay.
The fact that he said where them shoes at.
Yeah, Moxley, just being crazy Mox.
Untalented. No.
You said where them shoes at. You weren't even comfortable with saying what you said he said.
I'm just reading what happened, man. What do you want out of me?
That's all I'm saying.
It was all good.
I was fine with the truck
words.
situation. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But when you said another man said out loud, where them shoes at?
Yeah. Or
And
where,
then while you said it,
or where them shoes go, whatever he said, yeah.
you deflated when you said it.
Well,
So don't act like that's cool.
I didn't say
That's
it was
not
the
cool.
best thing in the world, but I'm just saying the truck spot was good.
In the same sense, in wrestling with WWE, no one talks like that.
Right.
Stop, boy. I hate the fact that they say shit that, okay, perfect example with T-Bar and Mace saying the whole thing about prehistoric, all that shit. No one talks like that.
Right.
So in the same sense with Jon Moxley, no one talks like that.
It just sounds unnatural.
Even though I'm pretty sure this was definitely off the top of his head, but I'm not saying it was good. But yeah.
It's still,
No one
it's
talks like
unnatural.
Yeah. Obviously, just trying to.
I've never gone somewhere looking for somebody to talk about, yo, where them shoes go? Like, come on, man.
All right, well, let's get
Quick
moving.
side note.
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys, in the new Call of Duty patch or whatever season, they have Atari games on here that you can play.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, actually.
Anyway,
Boy, we may have to
Go
discuss the format of this pro wrestling segment moving forward if y'all are disenthused.
no, that's not the format is not fine. We had a late start. It is what it is with that whole situation.
A lot of us are
The
tired. That's
format's
part of
fine.
it, but we have to see what we can do about it. Though.
I'm just saying, if we're going to talk critique,
right. Well,
the
of
way
course.
I think we might have to talk about a schedule time, to be honest. I mean, maybe we need to do something earlier in the day, so if it does run up.
Well, granted, we had a scheduled time, but somebody forgot we were reviewing Mortal Kombat tonight.
I forgot.
So that's partially why this has gone so late. But anyway,
I straight forgot.
it's still early. We'll hopefully work out the kinks. Moving on, we had Powerhouse Hobbs versus Christian Cage. Hobbs swung for a backhand on the outside, and when Christian ducked, when he swung with the backhand, Christian raised up, and Hobbs just drilled him in the back of the head. That was really cool. I'm not gonna lie. And then he used, let's see here, Team Taz was banned from ringside during this match due to their actions earlier in the night. So at least it saved for the entire locker room clearing. This was logical booking, another solid match. Christian Cage was making Hobbs look really good here. It was good pacing too, but Christian hit the kill switch for the win. Again, I don't know if they're going to actually take the title off Omega with Christian, but apparently we're clearly going to be building up Christian's wins to go against Omega at some point.
I hope not.
Yeah, well,
they have to. The way they hype that up, they have to put him in the title match.
Right.
They put him in a title match, but you take the title.
Oh no! He's definitely not going to win the title off Omega. I'm not thinking that at all. But I think you at least sell that match at least once, whether it be Dynamite or on a pay-per-view or whatnot.
Yeah, I think the person who's going to take that title off of him is going to be Hangman Page.
Oh, absolutely, and they're building Page as of now. Even so, maybe later this year. I think that's definitely where they're going, and as they should. It'll build a new star. It'll be a good match. They got the history with the tag teams stuff. So, yeah, absolutely. Again, good storytelling, in my opinion, right? I mean, that's what we want. Something like that.
Except for where them shoes go.
Yeah, well, I'll give you that one. Then we had a video package about Jade Cargill. Managers are looking to sign her like Matt Hardy and Vicky Guerrero. So we'll see if they do anything with that. Then we had a really good main event, pay-per-view level match between Jungle Boy and Darby Allin. Sting and Luchasaurus was on the outside of this ring. They obviously got into it a little bit on the outside, then they brought it to the back. So the two participants in the ring weren't affected by this. And basically, you got two young stars, two young studs. Had one of the.
Why did Sting and Luchasaurus get into it?
Because Jungle Boy fell out of the ring earlier in the match, and Lucha came over to see if he was okay, and kind of picked him up a little bit to get him back into the ring. And Sting thought, "Hey, stay out of the match." So they kind of got a little bit of a shoving contest, and it was nothing more than that.
Sting our clothesline, and it didn't work.
Yeah, he tried to hit him with a clothesline, and he didn't budge. But so they just kind of tussled a little bit. So I don't know if they're going anywhere with that, or it's just kind of friends of the participants getting involved. Sting and Lucha. Okay, we already went to that part. Darby Allin retained the title with the Last Supper. He was calling it as a submission hold. And after the match, we got Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page attack both of them afterwards. When Lance Archer comes out to make the save, he gets beat down, and Sting returns with the ball bat to make the save to end the show. At least they're kind of following up a little bit on why Scorpio and Ethan Page come out last week for no inexplicable reason. It appears they're going to be probably Scorpio Sky getting another shot at the TNT title. That's where I took it. They may even be doing a tag match of some sort, maybe Sting and Darby against Ethan and Scorpio. That could be a thing too. So
why remove Scorpio Sky from
SCU?
So SCU just to put him with somebody else.
I think it was that's a good point. The heel turn, I got that, but yeah, I don't know if it's just kind of to get Ethan Page on the show, put him with somebody, maybe. I think they did cut a promo explaining it a few weeks back, but I can't remember exactly what was said at the time.
Yeah, the promo was essentially them saying they were tired of being number twos when they should be number ones or some shit, and their plan is to work together to put. But at the same time, why take Scorpio Sky away from SCU to then just put him with somebody else? That makes no sense.
Right. But hey, overall, I thought the show was far better booked than most wrestling shows lately, just due to the storylines and where they're building and things like that. So I just want to give them credit for that. I do. I mean, so. But anyway, top to bottom, very solid show. Also, it's interesting to note champions didn't lose on this show. Logical reasons for contenders getting title matches such as wins and things like that. So I'll take that over nonsensical garbage. We full disclosure, we didn't watch SmackDown tonight due to. Go ahead.
Again, in that logic, you're right. I'd rather take some sense of matchmaking ability as opposed to Maurice telling me I'm having a match with somebody and then I have that match.
Mm-hmm. So credit where credit's due. That's always just
it's just like
All right, so full disclosure, we didn't watch SmackDown tonight due to the Mortal Kombat review that we did, so we had to watch that movie instead. But we'll run down a little bit real quick of what happened, best I can here based on this. There was a segment, basically, who will step up to challenge Roman Reigns. Cesaro kicked off the week's show, but before he could even address the universe, Seth Rollins come out. The egotistical heel took credit for Cesaro realizing his potential at WrestleMania, saying he was responsible for giving the Swiss Superman the greatest night of his life. He then blamed God and Mother Nature on his loss at WrestleMania, saying he would not lose to Cesaro on his best day.
Yo, did you just say the man playing?
That's what the article says. I'm reading this verbatim because, like I said, we didn't see this, so we can just react to what happened. The babyface laid down the challenge for a rematch, but Jey Uso interrupted. Still infuriated that Cesaro thought he was worthy of a title shot against Roman, the heels then worked together, surrounding the ring for an attack before Daniel Bryan returned and stood by his fellow Ring of Honor alumnus. Bryan said he came to the ring to ensure Cesaro gets what he deserves because he's the hardest worker in the room. He hasn't gotten one break in his career for the Universal title, so Bryan ran down everything that was going to happen, complete with Roman Reigns coming to the ring and joining Rollins and Uso in a 3-on-1 beatdown of Bryan and Cesaro. Why would you beat down... I guess it tells the story because Roman runs the yard. I guess that makes some sense.
Yeah, it makes sense for Roman to do that.
Yeah. Reigns did appear, but instead bragged about his WrestleMania victory before calling Bryan and Cesaro losers and exit the arena. I don't know. It sounds like it's setting up maybe a tag match later, but we'll see where this goes. But yeah, Cesaro versus Roman sounds like the direction. We cool with that? I mean,
sure.
I mean, why not at this point? Bryan put him over. In the promo.
But that's the only person that they got right now that can.
Mm-hmm.
He won't win, but...
Yeah.
No.
Oh, look, long and behold, the very next segment, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. Predictable tag team match. Let's jump to the finish here. This is great live television, everybody. An angered Rollins walked out on his partner, nursing a back injury, leaving Uso to withstand an uppercut from Cesaro and running knee from Bryan as the babyfaces double-teamed him for the victory. After the match, Bryan called Reigns out while Cesaro delivered the swing to Uso. When Reigns didn't come out, Bryan had Cesaro swing Uso again, this time taunting the head of the table by insinuating that he wouldn't even save Jey the way his cousin had repeatedly saved him in every title match. Bryan then ended by saying Reigns is afraid because he knows the match with Cesaro ends with a new champion, and the babyfaces stood tall to close the segment. That sounds like an interesting, or at least decently booked segment. We're calling out the head of the table for having somebody else always fight his battles for him. So storyline wise, I mean,
makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll give him credit for that. Again, there may be some backstage segments we miss here because sometimes these reports don't always have them, but I'm just going to read to you. This is Bleacher Report I'm going off of, so we can always do that. Then we had Tamina versus Nia Jax with their partners on the outside. Apparently this looked like it was garbage. Jax talked trash, and Tamina answered by taking her opponent down with a Thez press. She looked for the body slam, but Baszler interfered, stopping the move. Undeterred, Tamina rocked Jax with a big boot, then sent her into the barricade back in the ring. Failed interference from Shayna Baszler and the returning Reginald led to a distraction that allowed Tamina to score the win on a roll-up, pinning the champions again.
First off, how are you going to have Nia Jax with two different characters on each show? You have her being the bullied superstar on Raw, and then what they're doing with her on SmackDown. There's no through line there.
No.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And it's like, why? And this is why having
Reginald needs. I mean, I think Reginald's talented, but I think he needs to go out of this. I think he needs to get out of this feud. Like, take him away. Yeah. He doesn't need to be a part of this. Stay away.
What'll happen is after
he just needs to fucking go. He didn't even train. He went down to the performance center for a fucking day, and because he was literally in Circus Olay, they just it's fucking garbage. I'm tired of talking about fucking garbage, and that's what it is. The motherfucker didn't even train. He's useless. He's worthless. Get his black ass off the fucking TV screen because fuck him.
And this is 3 a.m. live reaction.
This is almost 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So yeah, definitely a late night for us here.
Listen,
So
it
apologize
makes
for the
no
quality of the
sense,
show
but-
sometimes, but
But here's the thing: they'll do something with him and her once they split him up. It doesn't really fuck.
Split needs to happen ASAP.
right.
Yeah.
All right, then we had an Intercontinental Championship match with Kevin Owens versus Apollo Crews. Owens and Crews traded several reversals before the challenger dropped his opponent with a pop-up powerbomb. Owens dropped the champion on the ring apron, but a distraction by Aziz allowed Crews to score yet another roll-up for the win. After the bell, I don't know.
Man,
I don't know,
especially
especially in
in
WWE.
like their fruit roll-ups.
After the bell, the Massive Commander then dropped Kevin Owens with a Nigerian nail. I'm assuming that's what they're calling the Samoan Spike.
Which is a Samoan Spike.
Right, leaving KO lane after a cheap stunner to the victorious champion. So I guess Kevin did get a little bit of retribution here against Crews, but it didn't last long. I don't know. I mean, the roll-up stuff kind of does it.
I don't get the
Kevin
roll-up.
Owens
I
is
don't-
the plainest, goofiest fucking cracker you will ever meet in your fucking life. And with his scraggly ass white boy beard, he's fucking useless.
Right.
He's dumb too. Jesus Christ, I hate stupid wrestling.
Yeah.
God, Kevin Owens is worthless.
All right. After that, we had Aleister Black finally returned. Apparently, he was a vignette returning with Aleister Black, who read from a book entitled "The Dark Father." I don't know if that's like the dark, the dark hold from Marvel. Maybe he chastised the viewers as the enigmatic promo came to the close. So I guess he's just insulting the crowd. Typical heel stuff, I suppose.
And he left as a heel, and that worked well. So
It's interesting to see the look because there's a picture of him here that shows him sitting in a dark room with the candles like always. He's got this big book, and then he's wearing a really black suit. He's got the beard and his ponytail and all that stuff, but he's got these really big like professor-looking glasses on, like he's trying to school. I don't know. That's just first impression from the
He
image.
catches himself on fire.
Yeah.
It's a picture I saw on Twitter. I don't know what they're doing with this man.
I mean, in context, maybe it's a little better. I mean, maybe here in the promo it's better, but it doesn't sound anything great here. Maybe he's best off not on television for his career.
Let him go fucking model clothes with his wife. Did you see those pictures? Look like a fucking goober.
Oh yeah, I know I hadn't seen.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Anyway.
Fucking sweet.
Elsewhere, Big E and Apollo Crews were brawling backstage until referees broke them up. Caleb Braxton then caught up with the SmackDown Tag Champions, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. The Street Profits interrupted, and a tense stare-down ensued until Bayley broke it up. The newly announced #1 contender, Bayley, talked trash about Bianca Belair. What? I mean,
why is she #1 contender? What has she done?
Where has she been? And now all of a sudden she's got a title match. I mean, I get it. She's Bayley. Great. Don't get me wrong.
I don't give a shit what her name is.
Agreed.
What the fuck has she done for me lately here?
Especially in the last couple months, she's barely even been on television, let alone earning anything. So,
Welcome.
Yeah, agreed. The EST, WWE, and new SmackDown Women's Champion confronted Bayley backstage. Bianca, the heel then threw fake compliments at the champion before laughing them off. This is typical WWE crap garbage. For some reason, Bleaker Report gave the promo segment with Aleister Black an A grade, so they thought it was good. So that's interesting.
I'm now looking at the picture.
So maybe the vignette was good. I'm not sure. We'll have to go back and watch this at some point.
Wait, who gave it an A rating?
Bleacher Report.
Bleacher.
Yeah. So again, who knows?
I've got my own opinions on that one.
It could be mostly
the dragon.
It may be mostly because Aleister Black is just back on television. Maybe that's why they got the high grade. That could be a possibility. Then we had the Mysterios versus Alpha Academy.
Jesus Christ.
The arrival of, let's see, hold on here. Okay, they found success early on and often as Chad Gable and Otis wore down Dominic Mysterio, cutting him off in the corner and overwhelming him with their power and technical wrestling advantage. The rookie competitor, Dominic, fought back, created separation, and tagged Ray into the match. Ray got in the match. Dominic stunned Gable with a sliding sunset flip powerbomb that drove the former Olympian into the guardrail, with Otis subdued at ringside after Dominic rammed him into the commentary table. Ray scaled the ropes and delivered a splash to score the win over Gable. I mean, sounds like a solid tag team match, but again, where are we going here?
Sounds like nepotism to me.
I mean,
fucking Dominic Mysterio. He's about as fucking good as a wet fart in a fucking dream.
Is that the? Let's see here.
I hope that's the fucking end.
That might.
No.
Was there anything else?
There's apparently he doesn't have that. There is a segment
Oh.
between Roman and Daniel Bryan where Roman makes some high stakes agreement.
Yeah.
With Daniel Bryan. I don't know exactly what it is.
It's essentially it's going to be it's a career-ending match stipulation, I think.
Oh boy. Okay, hold on. See if I can find it. I think that was the last match on the show, though, for sure.
Yeah, but it's on their YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So I guess that's that for that. And sorry for the lackluster finish there, but so yeah, I guess that'll do
how
it.
wrestling ended. Like, what do you want? Like, that's how it ended.
To me, obviously, I mean, again, not because I'm biased. I think AEW was the best show, just purely based on all that stuff that we mentioned earlier.
I'll give it to you, and from the sounds of it, I guess AEW had the better.
NXT
show.
was very good in its own right in spots, but they also had some goofy stuff. Papa John, Cool Kyle, things like that, which I'm not so sold on yet.
Oh no, fuck that. I take that back. The motherfucker said, "Where them shoes go?"
Yeah, that wasn't good. Ow. So there's that. But I think overall, AEW was the better show this week. But that's just me personally. But yeah,
hey, you're fine, man. That's fine.
Yeah, so
AEW. Woo.
But yeah, we may again, we apologize tonight for maybe us being a little tired from pulling an all-nighter almost to do this Mortal Kombat stuff.
We worked all damn day.
Yeah, it's a long day for a lot of us too. So we're going to refresh our batteries.
Hours.
Yeah.
Straight.
So, but we hope that doesn't just dissuade any of you from watching, and we may even go over maybe how we might approach pro wrestling going forward, because it does seem to be a bit of a long segment. Maybe we can figure out a better way to go about it moving forward. So we'll see what we can do. And we also did not get to Mike's fun fact and trivia segment tonight, but I think we're all too tired tonight to do that. We're
this long. Let's play it.
Do you want to? If we do, we get in the show with a high note. Hey, Digger or Mike, you're the main event, buddy. So check this out.
You called him Digger.
Yeah, I know.
Quit fucking around. What you saying? You gonna come real close?
Yeah. I know he didn't want to be called that, but I'm sorry, Mike. It slipped out. So, but anyway, he's the main event of the show. That might make him happy. So, we're going to cut to that video, show you the fun fact and trivia.
Grave digger, because that's how I feel right now. I'm about to crawl into one.
Yeah. So we'll do this quickly, and we were keeping score last week. As of right now, Tony and Damon are tied with half a point apiece. Me and Brandon rolling in at 0 points. So we thought
that big lead.
Yeah, so we thought we would do.
He said he got that big lead.
Yeah, so we thought we'd do this going through SummerSlam, and maybe we'll figure out something for the losers to do or whatnot at that point. But anyway, let's cut to the segment where Mike gives us his video, and then we'll react to it and see what we can do about the trivia question. So here we go.
All right. If you've watched The Dark Side of the Ring, the documentary series on Viceland, you saw an episode featuring the late Herb Abrams and his UWF Universal Wrestling Federation. What you may not know is this was actually the second incarnation of the UWF, as in 1986, Cowboy Bill Watts, who was the promoter of the Mid-South Wrestling Territory, decided to change the name of the territory to the Universal Wrestling Federation. Now, he did not copyright or trademark the UWF name, and that is why Herb Abrams was able to later on use the title without any legal repercussions. Now, the UWF did start out well and had a pretty good run at first. But unfortunately, that run didn't last very long, as in less than 2 years, they were bought out by the NWA Jim Crockett Promotions. Now, because they had such a short run, there was only 4 men that held the UWF Championship. Out of the 5 names I'm going to give you, which one did not ever win the UWF Championship? And for extra credit, give yourself another point if you can name the first UWF champion out of this group who defeated the 5th guy in the tournament final. Your 5 names are Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the One Man Gang, Fabulous Freebird Terry Bam Bam Gordy, Dr. Death Steve Williams, and Big Bubba Rogers, who went on to be WWE Hall of Famer, the Big Boss Man. Hope you all have a wonderful week. I look forward to seeing you again next week. If you haven't yet, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and if you see him out on the street, just pretend you're one of those women he hits on all the time and hit Eric. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, so
I legit saw Brandon's reaction on that one. Yeah, he loves to.
Man, clown the shit
so
out of
we
it.
need to guess who wasn't champion, and then for the bonus point, who was the first champion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So to run down the options again: Hacksaw Jim Duggan, One Man Gang, Terry Gordy, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Bubba Rogers, who ended up being the big boss man in WWE later on. Oh God. He's promised me he's going to go a little bit more recent with some of his trivia going forward sometimes. So because we're getting stumped with this old stuff. Nothing against it. It's great wrestling, I'm sure, but it's a little before a lot of our times, I think. So, but yeah, this one.
This is where it comes in handy being a fan of Jim Cornette.
Right. Good point. It could.
So, anyways, I'm ready to guess when you guys are.
Go for it, Tony. Lead us off.
Oh wait, are we recording again?
Yeah, we've been recording, so don't worry. I can cut it out what we don't need. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So my guess is the man who has never held it was Big Bubba Rogers, and the first person to hold it would have been Bam Bam Terry Gordy.
Okay. Man, this ain't easy. I don't even know who's in the UWF. So it's kind of like I'm throwing,
I'm going to say the guy who didn't hold it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, but agree with Tony on who was the first.
Who was the first? I'll go with, I don't know. Let's again take a shot in the dark here. I'll go with the One Man Gang as the one who did not win it. And the first one, Terry Gordy. What about you, Damon? Got any thoughts?
One who didn't win it, Hacksaw.
Who won? Who's the first?
And the first, Bubba Rogers.
All right. Well, I just now, after I gave my prediction, I opened up the email with the answer, and it's not real long, but there's a little bit of an explanation to it. So the man from the list of 5 that never won the UWF championship was Damon, Hall of Famer, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He gets this one right.
Yeah,
Did Brandon get it too?
also
Okay.
guessed.
Okay, cool. He was defeated in the finals of the tournament to crown the first champion on May 30th, 1986 by another Hall of Famer, fabulous Freebird, Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
I was right on that too.
Well, because the other one was who won first.
Okay, I got you.
Gordy would later be forced to forfeit the title to the One Man Gang due to injury. Gang later dropped it to Big Bubba Rogers, who then lost it to Steve Williams. The NWA, in a very WCW-ish move, never unified the title with the NWA title, nor did they bother to unify the tag titles. The only unification was Nikita Koloff as NWA TV champ defeating UWF TV champ Terry Taylor at Starrcade 87. FYI, the last tag champs were the Sheep Herders, who went on to be the Hall of Fame Bushwhackers, who would lick each other more than Eric has. That's nasty. If he said more than Eric licked his boss's backside, that is just nasty, dude, and not true.
So,
come on, man.
Did Damon get Damon? You got one right?
Yeah. Who was the? Okay, so who?
So me and you were still in the lead, tied for 1.5, while these fools both got 1 point.
But who was the one who didn't win it? Or I'm sorry, who was the first to win it? That was the bonus,
it was
right?
Bam Bam.
Oh, okay. So I got that one right. So I got the bonus.
that one right too.
Okay. Well, we'll look back at the video and we'll figure out all the points here. So at least seems like everybody got a little bit of points here. I think Tony did, didn't you?
Yeah, I said
Tony
Bam Bam was
got
the first one.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll go over this again, get all the points right for you. I might even try to see if I can come up with the graphics so I could display the points totals on screen so everybody can see them as well. So, but with that, everybody, I think we're pretty tired tonight. We've had a long show. Long week too, but hopefully next week we maybe we figure out a way to maybe make the show maybe not quite as long.
Next week we'll be on Thursday night.
Yeah,
we'll be having
Let's promote that. Yes.
So next week Thursday night, same shit, same time. You guys will probably still see this on Saturday more than likely, or Friday, however Eric does it. But our guest will be our very first guest, Thomas Adams. Pro wrestler from Salem, Ohio. Check him out on TA Plays on Twitch and Facebook. Check all that good stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of here. Have a good night.
And of course, follow all of us on our social media, which there will be a graphic to show you where all that is going for. And David's like, my head is so big right now. I'm just like, he's ready for bed. All right, guys. So until next week, thank you for watching. Please comment below, like and subscribe to our channel. And until our next video, guys, take care. Bye.
Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right. I swear to God that I can drop and roll. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.